sure the players appreciate that, and you get some feedback from them saying, oh, thank you so much for all you're doing to help us build bigger houses and spend more on that as first-class tickets. But the other aspects to the growth of the sport, it really has become one of the premier sports particularly in women's professional sports, but just across the globe in general.
Of course, I think one of the other key metrics is 1973 were predominantly a U.S.-based tour. Just with over 14 events, and today we truly are global with 54 events in 33 countries, and have the year-end top 10 last year, all represented by 10 different nations. Truly made this another milestone statement that women's tennis, the #1 professional sport for women, had become truly global.
And especially with after the 3-year run in Doha for the year-end championships there, and now those premier events in both Doha and Dubai, in a region of the world that hadn't really, well, let's be fair, culturally it took a while to come around to accepting women athletes as professionals and their inclusion in the discussion. What's been able to grow now has been amazing.
Yeah, look, I think they provided leadership in the Middle East. Qatar first, and then followed by Dubai. We celebrated 12, 13 years of being in the Middle East, and the Qataris stepped up and said they stepped up and they said we want to make the championships equal, which I think was a very significant cultural statement and societal statement for Qatar, and it was historic for us because it finally brought our championships to equal prize money.
Kirilenko struggling a bit now from 40 love to deuce, just giving Kvitova a little bit of hope to try to find a way to an early break. But
the call on the right baseline, ball called out.
Return of Kvitova looked to sail long, but Petra wants another peak, so we'll have a challenge, our first of the second set. And she was wise to do so.
Replay point.
No replay deuce. Let's talk about some of the things that will occur during this year of 40 love. First of all, coming up with the slogan and the new logo that will exist for the course of this year, really a way to recognize and get the attention that the sport deserves.
Well, we really want to honor our heroes and past champions, and also celebrate the current stars. So it'll kick off with this campaign that'll be a season-long platform. It'll include an advertising campaign. It'll include a fan component where there'll be lots of social media interaction where fans will get to vote on some of their favorites over the past 40 years. The Billie Jean King Trophy, the one we use for the year-end championships, will tour on various different sites so we can honor Billie and everything that she's meant to the WTA. And it'll all culminate at Wimbledon on the middle Sunday, where we'll bring as many of the former #1s back together. And I think that'll be an incredibly historic and moving moment for women's tennis.
And Kirilenko fighting off break point to get back to deuce. Yeah, that'll be amazing to think of all the players that have held that position. 20 now, and you have Serena currently at #1 here at this tournament. We're going to see two former #1s, Azarenka and Wozniacki, face off against each other. You hear about all those names sort of separate from each other and all their accomplishments, to have them all sort of, or as many as you can, gathered together.
Yeah, look, I think we'll have close to 20, and maybe a few we're missing, but we'll go from Yvonne Gouliankali, who held it for the first time, Chrissy, Martina, Lindsay, hoping for Monica, Jennifer, you just say all those names, and it's going to be incredible because it'll span so many generations, so many decades, and they all have one thing in common. They all have held the #1 world ranking.
Yeah, remarkable. And in the 40 years, well, actually since 1975 when the computerized rankings first came out and started that going, but just to, where it's going to be fun. What about the ceremony? Just that little holding room when they all get together.
They are comical. They're as competitive today as they were back then, and then to mix with the current generation, I think there'll be some good jostling back and forth.
Difficult opening game here for Kirilenko, trying to get this hold already after a 44-minute opening set. We're looking at almost a 10-minute opening game for set #2, but so important for Maria's hopes here to reach the semifinals for the first time, come back from a set down. This is almost critical to find a way to 1 love. Just hold off Kvitova from advancing for the break. And there is the hold. Kirilenko out in front. 1 love. Well, we won't make you break down all the opening set numbers, Stacey, although I know you're just an ardent fan of the game and want to get into just the minutia, but we'll leave that be. Let's talk a little bit more now about what's been going on with you and your personal reflections after coming up through Tennis Canada, the ranks there, taking over at the helm of the WTA. What are some of your fondest memories of women's tennis and what's unfolded as you've been as chairman and CEO?
Well, look, achieving equal prize money was incredibly, inspirational. For me, it was not only the achievement, I think it was closing a long chapter and beginning a new chapter, where, as you said, women don't enjoy the same rights and respect that we do, perhaps maybe in some of the westernized world, and that's what women's tennis has been about, empowering women and social change. And so we've got this great opportunity as we go forward. Our work is not done. So that's key. Meeting the original 9 last year in Charleston was at the very top of my list.
Yeah, that would have been one of those experiences to have them come out, of course, the original 9, which includes Billie Jean King and all the members who signed those contracts for $1 and said, all right, this is it. We're going professional. We're creating this league.
Yeah, so to hear that, and then we finished the year at the BNP Paribas Championships in Istanbul, Turkey, with 16,500 people. Fellow crowd every day, and it was just rocking. And the athletes that play all week, they left it on the court, and I just had this incredible feeling of we've got it going. There's momentum in our sails, and we're going to take it to the next level.
Yeah, that was a fun time. Speaking of the original 9 in Charleston, I remember being back there last year and seeing all that, seeing how giddy everybody was to be around, and to really know where it's come from, and then to think about the equality that you're trying to progress through the sport of women's tennis. And gosh, you can't help but think, has it really been 4 decades since Billie Jean beat Bobby Riggs?
I think Billy would say probably it has. It doesn't seem that long ago, but it has.
Yeah, so for Kvitova, well, she gets the hold of love. She keeps pace as she tries to run off a straight set victory. Early stages, set number 2 for 1-all, joined by Chairman and CEO of the WTA, Stacey Alister. You mentioned the tremendous turnout last year in Istanbul, and what a great success it was. It was a wonderful run in Doha, but the crowds, paltry sometimes, picked up towards the end. But right from the outset, first matches, opening days in Turkey, each time, great crowds.
Yeah, the Turkish people really have embraced women's tennis, and we weren't sure. It didn't have a culture or a history of women's tennis, but they've just done an amazing job. And the athletes have given back the love to the fans, because they want to play in a stadium that's full and energetic, and fans are bringing signs all the time.
Come here to the California desert. I've been telling you for the last year or so that I admire your frequent flyer mile program, if you ever want to hand some of those off. But what's next for you? What's the next steps for the chairman and CEO?
Well, stay here till the weekend and then head to Miami for a few days. Then home for a couple of days. Then I'm just going to go to Rio with my ATP friends, and we're going to launch the 2014 new Rio event that'll be opening next year. Back to Miami, and then home for a couple days, or home for a couple weeks, and then it'll be Stuttgart.
A well-deserved rest, no doubt, when you finish coming back from your second trip to Miami. Well, Petra Kvitova hit a big return that seemed to catch. It's not a challenge on the return. It's Kirilenko challenging her own serve. And there you see, wise challenge, because Kvitova's return was a monster. And Kirilenko able to hold off break point, at least for the moment, with that challenge. Replaying deuce. An important game once again, each one for Kirilenko as she tries to mount this comeback. And there's another big return from Petra Kvitova. Break point for 2-1. Well, Stacey, we know you have a full schedule, and we really appreciate you coming by. It's great to get the update, and we're looking forward to May for the announcement, as well as Wimbledon and the grouping of all those former number ones.
That'll be fun. It's an exciting year, that's for certain.
Well, 40 love indeed.
40 love.
Chairman and CEO Stacey Alister of the WTA joining us, and thanking her for her participation here. Stacey, we'll let you get back to all the activities here. Enjoy a little time here in the California desert, and we'll see you in Miami.
See you then.
Excellent. All right, so Maria Kirilenko doing her best to hang tough, try to stay in this third game. Emotionally surrendering that 4-2 opening set lead, she has to toughen up here and give Petra a fight. Knowing full well what's in store for the woman who we assumed would be pretty fatigued following her 3 3-set matches. She's shown she's fit and ready, but this is a very big moment for the Russian.
Kvitova.
2 of and a little more concerted effort, staying low. Kirilenko offering the low ball and just right in the strike zone for Petra to really produce some good power off both wings. The last time David Coates came down and spoke to Petra, she ended up getting broken. Hoping not to continue that trend, and certainly wants to stay in this set, see if she can emerge with a straight sets victory. As much as Kirilenko's played, she certainly feels confident with being able to last under these conditions, going the full complement of sets. Petra wants to avoid that. Kvitova seems to be having a bit of problem dealing with the moment and the conditions. About 95 degrees Fahrenheit. Middle part of the day when it gets hottest, right in that direct sunlight overhead. 35 degrees Celsius and that very dry air. And she just can't find a serve. Remember, she began the set winning her first 10 points. Everything was working perfectly. 3 straight double faults. And not only is she folding, she's in danger of just dropping this set. Maria Kirilenko, double set point. And an epic fold. Couldn't find the box on 6 serves, 4 straight double faults, mind you. Just make it emphatic. And Petra Kvitova throws away set number 2. We're going 3 for the 4th time for Kirilenko in this tournament.